Hi, I'm a little bit late for the new moon in Scorpio this month, so November 2021. But these guidance that we do each month are fairly timeless, so wherever you're finding it, it is a perfect time for you to be finding it. It's just that I do them on the new and full moons, just so I've got a regular routine. So the chakra cards are questions and activities that you can do to help deepen your spirituality and to help you to move forward in your life and help you get out of any start positions that you're in or move through your spiritual growth. So we'll start with the base chakra and we'll work our way through it. And what usually happens is that there's a theme or some sort of pattern that emerges. So this is a guidance for the new moon of November 2021 for everybody. So we just need one card from each deck just so we can see what's going on for the collective. So what we all need or what you need right now. Is it selfish to attend to your needs first? This is an interesting question, as they all are. I always come back to when you're on a plane and they tell you to fit your masks before you help other people. And I think that in life we often surrender our masks and we help other people before we help ourselves. And I think if we're not okay in ourselves, if we've not gone for the oxygen mask for ourselves, we cannot and do not help people in the very best way we can. So I just like using that story. But for you, in your life, what's going on right now? Is it selfish to attend to your needs first? Is the question that we're looking at. So usually what happens is everything comes out of that selfishness and then we find some patterns. So Sacral Chakra, oh, there it is. What are some of your natural body cycles that you are aware of and how do you feel about them? So, and this comes back to this selfishness. If you're feeling tired or had surgery, or if you're a woman and you're menstruating, your body goes through cycles. And if you've ever tracked them, you'll know that some days you just don't feel like doing things. And I'm hoping that sometime they'll find those same cycles in men. Men will have cycles that match the moon, just like women do with our menstrual cycles. But what are the cycles that you're aware of and how do you feel about them? And if you are feeling tired and run down, is it selfish? Do you judge yourself too harshly for attending to your needs first when your body's actually telling you that you need something? So being really attentive to what you and your body needs. So these cards are really good for journaling with, so you can journal, you can reflect, you can have conversations with other people about them, whatever you like. I created them for everyone to find some depth in their lives. What pattern of behavior can you see in your family line? Oh, look at these two. Did you grow up with a parent who put everyone else first? And are you doing the same? This looks like a interesting reading here. And, do you get punished for attending to your needs, or do you self-punish attending to your needs, whether they're bodily cycles or other things that you need to do? And then this question as a wider question, what patterns of behavior do you see in your line? What other things do you see that you've inherited from your parents, grandparents, siblings? What are the patterns that you can see in your family? And are they healthy patterns? Do you want to keep them? Some of the patterns are great, but some of them are not so great. So you need to, as an adult, ask yourself if you want to hang on to that behavior and if it's yours. Is it your behavior? If it's not and you don't want to hang on to it, you need to let it go. Heart chakra. I really do love doing these, and I hope that people do eventually watch them. I enjoy it, so I'm just amusing myself, really. Go into your heart, draw it, then put words around it that describe what you are feeling right now. So when you are thinking about your own needs, your bodily cycles, your things that you need to do for you to help you feel okay in the world, and your family patterns, how does that all make you feel when you reflect on those things, and do you are you feeling a bit overwhelmed by life? You're feeling a bit out of balance? Wherever you're at is fine, but go into your heart. So moving through your heart chakra might be able to help you move through that that space that you're in. Throat chakra. Ooh, let's just take one. That's the one we'll get over here. When was the last time you curled up in a ball and cried? Crying is a part of a natural body cycle. Crying is not selfish. What are the things that I believe very strongly is that I think that because we're a society that still hangs on to that stiff upper lip, British, don't show any emotions. We don't grieve when people die. We don't grieve when things happen. We bottle it all up. And what happens is that then affects our cycles, it affects our stress levels, it affects our ability to function with other people and to be ourselves. And so when we cry, it's a release of energy. It's a release of all of those things that we've been hanging on to. And it's not selfish at all to curl up in a ball and cry. If you're doing that all the time, well, I suggest you probably need to go and get some professional help. But one-off or occasional cries by men and women is completely healthy. All human emotions are normal. We only assign them value. And that's really, I think, what makes us feel guilty when we do things which have a value. That it's not okay for boys to cry, for example, from the 80s and 70s. They were told to man up. But little boys and young men need to cry. If you feel like crying because something's happening, you need to cry. It's important to let those tears out. And they do say that when you cry, let the tears run down your face to get to your chin, and that way you're fully releasing that grief that's within you. If you wipe your tears away, you're preventing that grief from leaving in you. It won't ever go away. And of course, when you're grieving, particularly if you lose someone, that grief will never go away. It comes and goes, and we carry that grief like a scar with us, and it's just always going to be there. And we just have to learn to ride these waves of emotional cycles that we go through in grief. It was very quick. What would your life look like if you were fearless? And this one just fell out, so I'll bring it out as well. What steps can you take today to live the life of your dreams? So they're very similar in their messages here. And I guess if you are we think back to this selfish card, is it selfish to attend to your needs to live the life of your dreams? It's your life. We get one crack at this one wild and precious thing. And if we let fear drive it, and our family patterns drive it, and the holding back of grief, and we feel guilty about being selfish, then we don't get to live the life of our dreams, and we end up dying before we get old. So really great visionary cards here from the third eye chakra there. What would your life look like if you were fearless, and what steps can you take to live the life of your dreams? Coming now to the crown. See how we can round this one off. Looks like we've got some really positive things coming at the end there. There we go. When do you feel most alive? I know I feel most alive in nature, and I think that's a very human thing to feel alive when you're in nature. unless you're a city person who's never been in nature and it's a foreign place to you. But a lot of people feel alive when they're in nature, but also doing the things that you love. And again, do the things you love that make you feel alive, regardless of the patterns, and then live your life fearlessly. Move forward and feel really alive in that passion that you follow with your life. So these 3 cards are very, they're aligned with each other quite a lot there. So it started out, the issue at the moment is around this selfishness and watching what your needs are, but also maybe some hidden grief there as well that needs to be released. Now the pink ones are specifically for relationships. So whether you're in one or not, there's still, if you're not in one, they're there for manifestation. If you are in one, it might be a good question to ask your partner or to ask yourself before you ask your partner. So these are available on my website, alissacurtain.com, for $25 Australian plus postage. Looks like this spread is not about relationship, it is very much about you as a person. So we'll just pick up one card here. How do you feel about your relationship? That's heavy. How do you feel about it? Not what you think about it, how do you feel about it? And how do you feel about it in relation to the selfishness, your cycles within that, your family patterns, your partner's patterns, around your heart, how you're feeling right now in your relationship? Is there any grief that you're carrying from your relationship? And then if you were fearless and took the life of your dreams to feel alive, how do you feel about your relationship? Is it something that makes you feel alive, or is it something that holds you back and blocks you? I'm not saying go and leave your partner. That's not what I'm saying. It's a decision you need to make on your own it's a choice that you want to make. But the question is, how do you feel about your relationship? And there's no right or wrong answers. I do think that when we break up with someone and we don't finish it properly, we often repeat similar patterns with the next person. So breaking up sometimes doesn't solve the problem, unless, of course, it's an abusive relationship. Then by all means, take steps you need to. But if it's a healthy relationship and you're just a bit tired and bored with each other, there might be something else that you're missing about your own self within that. But having said that, it's your relationship, your life. You can choose. There might be right for you, might not be right. It's completely, I don't want to tell people what to do. I want you to find your own answers within you. And the last card for today is love is. What is love? And if we look back through all of these cards, love is love selfish to attend to your own needs? Is love being aware of your own body cycles? Is love noticing patterns in your family line and letting go of the things that you don't need anymore? Is love how you feel in your heart? Is love grief? And is love living a fearless life with the life of your dreams when you feel alive? And is love in relationships? So a really big question to end today. And I hope that this was helpful. Remember that, this is designed for you to self-reflect. I just make some suggestions. I'm not telling anyone to leave their partners. I'm not telling anyone to do anything radical unless you're in an abusive relationship. By all means, please get help. But do see a psychologist or counsellor if you need extra support. They're only here to guide you, to help you live the very best life you possibly can. And I hope in some way at least one of these questions has helped you to reflect on your life. Take care.